Good morning, Chavra. Today is the 27th day of Menachem Av, and we're in the middle of Epistle 8 in the Igeres HaKodesh. We're on page 67 in the Chayenu, and the question is, how is it possible? Usually things happen measure for measure. How is it possible that we put in our effort and Hashem gives us be'ein haroich, like incomparably much more than what we deserve, what we put in, right? So he uses the mashal of when planting a seed. When you plant a seed, it's a tiny little seed, and what happens? A beautiful tree grows. You have fruit for generations from one tiny seed. So that's what the comparison, that's what the mashal is, to try to figure out how when we do our efforts in the month of Elul, coming up Mirz Hashem, this coming Thursday and Friday, and we have to do our part, and then Hashem responds. It's unbelievable and incomparable the amount of brachas that we're going to get in return, Mirz Hashem, God willing. In today's lesson, when it comes to planting, a person needs to do their part, sow the seed, but the seed, actually what happens is, it decays. I can't tell you exactly how it works. For that, you gotta go to Google or look it up or talk to an expert. But apparently it decays in the soil, and then it unleashes a power within the earth to produce far more, both in quality and in quantity, than the seed, obviously, right? The above concept is understood. And when we put in our effort, Hashem returns to us so much more. By the analogy of sowing a seed of grain or planting a kernel of fruit. The shoots that sprout forth from the seed and the tree with its fruit from the kernel are not the very same as the seed or the kernel at all. Why? What happens? The essence and being has been spent and is decaying in the soil. And they're not the source of the vegetative property. What is? Otzma or atzmaihu hamaitzi v'magadel v'hashiboiles v'ha'ilan v'apiraisov. The vegetative property in the soil itself. No, I'm sorry. It's the vegetative property in the soil itself. The seed gives the power to the vegetative property to start to result in what's going to be the growth of the shoot or the tree and its fruit. So here's an explanation. The vegetative power of growth is obviously from Hashem. It's a divine faculty that enables growth to result from a spiritual property in a matter of creation, something from nothing. But if the actual growth of any grain or fruit results from the universal power of vegetative growth, and not from a particular seed or kernel, so why then plant in the first place? Let Hashem do his magic and that's it. Trees will just grow something from nothing. Except it's only that the earth's vegetative power does not manifest the power outwardly from the potential to the actual. Except by means of the seed or the kernel. What happens to the seed or the kernel? It decays in the soil, and whose whole power, the power of growth that originated in the earth's vegetative property, was implanted with this kernel, and the earth and the soil consumes this kernel. The kernel and the earth become one. They unite and become one, meaning the particular power of growth that results in the seed or kernel unites with the earth's universal vegetative property. And in this way, the vegetative property actualizes its potential, and it gives the power that makes possible the growth of a shoot that's related to the seed that was sown. It's very interesting. With a great intense increase in any single shoot, is that one ear of corn comprises many grains. And just like one seed, you have a fruit tree that produces many, many fruit. You have one grain that produces grain that has some, one shoot that has so many grains. Many fruits on a single tree. Vegam, mahuson, batzmusan shel hapedos, mu'ula bi'ilui rava otzom l'mayla mehus batzmusan shel garin hanotua. Moreover, the very nature and essence of the fruits immensely excels the nature and essence of the planted kernel. What benefits are there in a kernel? Are there any nutritional benefits? Maybe a drop. But when it comes to the fruits and the produce that come from the tree, tremendous. And even in the taste, the kernel's bland and tasteless. But that's the source of these delicious fruits that come later. And the same is true of the produce of the earth, which grows from seeds like kernels, like cucumbers, and the like. All fruits and vegetables. They're not just quantitatively superior, where you have a lot that comes from this tiny little seed, but also the quality is superior. And the difference between grain and the original seed, however, is only one in quantity. So you have one stalk per seed. When it comes to fruit trees, you could have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of apples that'll come from this one little tiny seed eventually. Why? This is because the stem and the root of the vitality of the fruit trees, of the fruits, issues from the vegetative property in the soil, which includes the vitality of all the fruits and causes them to grow. Nevertheless, a kernel, moreover, the kernel of the specific species desired, still has to be put into the ground. It has to be sown, as will be explained. Full circle now to understand why we bring this mashal. While the kernels that are sown in the ground are only like an arousal from below, they get the ball rolling, right? They what's the word? They kickstart. They get the vegetative properties in the soil moving. So that is necessary if one is to elicit the reciprocal arousal from above. And it's not just reciprocal, as we see in the mashal with the trees. We're showered with tremendous fruits. This arousal from below that we have to do our part. It's just plant the seed. It's not, by the way, it's not that we're not putting in enough effort. That's all we have. That's all we're worth, is the tiny little seed. Not so tasteful, not so pretty, but we got to do our part. We got to plant it. The arousal from below is the elevation of Mayim Nukvin, commonly abbreviated as Man, the arousal of the feminine waters that serves as the recipient of the flow from the male waters. And the same apply here as well. Let's recap. The power of vegetative growth is a spiritual power that encompasses all fruits and vegetables. Its spiritual state is such that's too lofty to descend spontaneously to a level. See, Hashem doesn't do it himself. We have to do it. The actual growth can only come about as a result of the elevation of Mayim Nukvin, the feminine waters, of a particular fruit or grain. This arousal within the universal vegetative property, particular manifestation necessary for the growth of any specific kind of produce that is inherent in the kernel or seed that is sown. So what's the takeaway? Our good deeds are planted seeds. So for sure, at least we have to do our part, even though it's sometimes dry and it's not always so pretty. We have to put in our effort. And imagine if we planted 3 seeds, 5 seeds, 20 seeds, 30 seeds. Imagine we would have a whole orchard. We would have a whole vineyard. Also, we can create mamish, a beautiful Gan Eden in this world, Dafka. So this is it. As we get closer and closer to the month of Elul, today is the 27th. Tonight and tomorrow is the Chav Ches. Chav Ches means power. Oh yeah. So we, Mirz Hashem, we'll do our part, and Hashem won't just respond in kind. Oh, you gave me this, I'll give you that. No, Hashem is going to shower us with tremendous brachas, with tremendous. We don't say you should have a good parnasa. You should say ashirus. You should be wealthy in every area, specifically spiritual wealth, family, children, nachas, yourselves. Howard, nachas. Have a wonderful day, guys.